Get ready to build the most pristine garden around the pagoda. This is our review of 4 Gardens.
Four Gardens is a hand management set collection game about creating garden panoramas, and I thought it was really easy to learn and fun to play.
I really liked the pagoda component, but I was underwhelmed by the rest of the game's mechanics. I'll tell you all about it. That's just quick how to play. 4 Gardens is played over a series of rounds, with each player performing 3 actions on their turn each round.
A player's turn will consist of playing or discarding a card from their hand.
Players can play cards from their hand to lay the groundwork, rotate the pagoda to collect resources, take a wild, or reallocate the resources that they've collected.
When players fill up the spaces on their groundwork cards with resources, they'll flip them over to create a landscape and then move their score marker up on the corresponding track.
Once any player has collected a certain number of landscape cards, depending on player count, the endgame is triggered.
Remaining players take their final turn and then the game ends.
Players add up their points from the scoreboard and bonus tiles. The player with the most points wins. We were sent a copy of 4 Gardens from the publisher so that we could do this review video and an unboxing that you can find in our description below.
If you'd like to find out more about the game or to buy a copy, check out the links in the description below.
The very first thing you'll notice with this game is the pagoda. It has a very strong table presence, it rises above, and it rotates. So each section can rotate, and as you're playing cards, you may have to rotate different sections, and those sections will determine which resources you get. And then the cards will say whether you start at the top or you start at the bottom, and you collect the resources up and down. I really love that mechanic. I have to say that's my favorite thing about this whole game. I'll probably mention it in the likes when we get to the like section, but I really thought the pagoda mechanic was cool.
Yeah, it's really the crux of everything, right? We get this to the table, whether at home or in public, like anyone walking by, they'll be like, oh, what's going on there? Now, the cards and everything I really enjoy because they fit together to make these little panoramic gardens. So those seem kind of fun to me, and there's a lot of different sets here, so not a lot of words, or really no words at all, actually. It's all symbols and art. The iconography is pretty easy to understand. That's why I said it's really easy to pick up and learn and to play. So I think a very wide age range could play this game.
So the cards have a multi-use component to them. So on your turn, you can either play this for the bottom part, which you're going to be collecting, to then try to achieve the panoramic side of it, or you can play it for its wheelbarrow, which will let you reallocate resources, or you can play it for its action. And the actions are either to rotate a section and then collect resources, either top or bottom, or that you can collect a wild and place it on one of your groundwork cards if you need to collect a specific resource. So those are the main things you're going to be doing on your turn. You're going to perform 3 actions.
So there are some unique nuances to these rules, like to the pagoda, or if you're trying to plan or make these landscapes to fill the groundwork cards, you can only really have 3 active at any time. So it's not like you can just say, all right, I have 5 cards, I'll lay down 3, I have 5 again, I'll lay down 3 more. Like, you can't just start planning this whole master plan and then slowly just, add resources to everything. You have to say, okay, I have 3 active. These are my 3 active. I have to fulfill them. So sometimes I'm guilty in other games of hoarding or doing too much planning or doing too much resource collection. This kind of mitigates that so that I'm not one or the other. I have to always be kind of doing a little bit of each.
When you play the card to rotate the pagoda and then collect resources, it's going to be darkened as far as which one you're rotating, and then you're going to rotate all the ones above it. So for example, I rotate that, and then this side is facing me, and it's going to tell me where to start and pick up my resources. So if I'm looking at this side, I'm going to start at the bottom. So I'm going to get 2 waters, then 2 woods, and that would fill up my planting tile if I have it blank. If there's already resources here, it may get filled up even sooner than that. So that's one thing about the game that I don't really appreciate, is I feel like you should be able to adjust the pieces individually. I think it'd be more fun if you could pick and choose which ones you're going after to try to make the resource collection a little bit more timely, for lack of a better term. And there's a lot of times when you're playing and it can feel kind of repetitive, and it's just about, okay, I'm going to go here, I'm going to get those resources, and then I'll hope the luck of the draw gives me what I need to use those resources to play on the groundwork cards. So I feel like it would be more strategic if you were able to choose certain sections and then be able to go after your resources, or if you could collect resources and then not keep them. If you can get the resource and then discard them until you get the ones that you want, or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like it made it a little too much dependent on luck of the draw with the cards that you have and how you're rotating it. So I love the component. I just didn't like how it was implemented and used with the cards.
One thing I'll say kind of to that, right? With your planning tiles, You have 4 spots. At some point, if you turn this pagoda enough, you could have 3, 3, 3, 3. You'll never be able to collect 12, right? Because you only have 4 spots. Yeah, you can get a bonus and add 1 more and get a 5. But for the most part, I felt like that was just a huge, like, just bottleneck right there, where it was just, oh, okay, oh, awesome. No, that's not good. That's not good at all, because I can't even do anything with that. I was both frustrated, but also like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, it really makes you think about what are your resources that might be super important or in your hand when you're looking at it. You're like, okay, that's going to be important. So let me just start building towards that then.
When you achieve the full resources on your card and you flip it over, it becomes a landscape, and then you create a panorama. Also, every time you flip it over and it becomes a landscape card, you're going to achieve the color marking on the score track, and those will compound each time you play. So the first blue card that I get has this red, so I'm going to move up on the red track. But then if I get another blue card and it has this wild, I'll move up on the red track, and I'll also move up on the any color track I want because I have this wild. As you're playing the game, it will compound and go faster as far as scoring a lot. One thing about that, at the end of the game, the final score is whatever you have on all your scores up to 10, and then you can possibly get bonuses depending on if you get the 4, the 3, the 2, or the 1 on the bonuses if you choose those bonus tiles. It's really not that high scoring of a game. I think it'd be like if you totally maxed it out, it'd be 44, 45, 50 points is the max that you can score in this game. I think it would be more fun if there was some other scoring mechanic in there to try to just mix it up a little bit. There's a take that mechanic where you can move people back, which I didn't really like, but that doesn't really change the fact that, well, if everyone's playing perfectly, we're all going to be really close. It's going to be within 2 points of each other. Like, it'd be more fun if there was other ways. Like, well, I didn't get that 4, so if we all max it out, you're going to win because you have that 4 bonus tile. So there goes the game.
That take that component, that kind of, like I said, I was 50-50. I'm on the fence with it, right? Because, and obviously for good reason. If I'm doing really well, yeah, I like that. Let's push everyone else off the board, because the way that this is set up is once you get to the end of the score track, the next time you earn another score on that, you're allowed to push someone who's on the track, or everyone actually, you push them back 1. And if you push them all the way off the board, there's no way they can ever bring that back. So that kind of that has a very sour taste to me. It's like, oh, all that work, huh? Like a little love-hate there on that part of the game. So I would say just what we keep commenting on, probably just this thing here. It's new, we haven't seen it before, so I'm sure there are other ways that it can be used, or, it can be adapted or modified house rules to make the game fun, more fun.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing that I most like about the game. I said it at the top. I wish it was implemented a little bit better, which is kind of my negative side of it. What I don't like the fact that such a cool component was integrated in a way that just kind of makes it a little bit lackluster. It almost makes it like degrades it a little bit by how you use it. Oh, I can only do that. Why can't I rotate separately? Why can't I choose? Why can't I do more with it? I feel like it's a cool thing and it's there, but it's basically a lazy Susan at that point. Like, why can't we do more with it? So that's what I don't like about it. What about you? What did you not like about the game?
Going back to the resource collection and playing it, it's a bit awkward there, because you're collecting resources to put on your planning tile, and then you have to use another move to then move those resources out, or if you didn't even need these at all because things change, now you have to waste a whole move just to throw these away. I don't know, it seems inefficient with moves there, where it's like, okay, collect, that's 1, and then now reshuffle or distribute, that's 2, so all right, 3 could be just collect again, and then, there goes a turn. So just a little awkward with those, jumping between those for me.
Is the game inefficient or are you inefficient?
Game. Overall, I'll probably give this away to the next person so they can play it. I mean, I like the artwork, I like the pieces, the resources. Obviously, I love the tower, the uniqueness of it and everything. You're putting these together, you have your little panorama. Yeah, the artwork I kind of like too. At the end of the game though, it's like, okay, nice. If I were to give it a BGG score, I would probably say a 3 or 4, but I'd still, give it away, let someone else give it a try too, and have fun with it.
Overall, I would give this game away. I really love the mechanics, so it would be hard to do because I really like that. I think maybe what I would actually try to do is house rule it to a point where it'd be a lot more fun than what it is, because there is a fun game here. I don't think it would take that much. I don't think you'd have to add anything or take anything away to make it more fun than it is. And it's in terms of just being able to rotate it differently, and then how you play your cards, and maybe don't use this, just collect resources and build it out and do different things. It wouldn't take much to house rule this to be like a 6 or 7 level game, in my opinion. As it stands with its current rules, I'd probably give it a 3, 4, somewhere in there, probably a 3. I don't like halves, but like somewhere in there. And that was our review of Four Gardens.
What'd you think? Are you gonna Pagoda to the store and get this game? Let us know in the comments below.
And as always, if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
I'm Kenny, and go party like a board gamer.